John aka Chicken Fillets here, and I love myself some action JRPGs, but you know what else I love? The Nintendo Switch. So we take one thing and that thing, put together, we get a list. So today we're going to look at 10 Nintendo Switch action JRPGs that you should play. Now before we get cracking on with the video, please help me grow the channel by liking, sharing and subscribing. And well, let me know all your thoughts about this video down below. Anyway, let's get cracking on. First up is Dusk Diver, an action JRPG that you should definitely play on your Nintendo Switch. Now this game revolves around our protagonist Yang Yumo. Now Yang is dragged through an alternate dimension where she is bestowed powers upon her by guardian spirits to take on the enemies in this twisted reality known as Chaos Beasts. And it's up to Yang to defeat all these nasty creatures. Now when in battle you take on multiple Chaos Beasts at once, similar to the likes of, well, a Dynasty Warriors style of game. You want to keep those combos going because it will unleash damage. But don't worry, you're not going to be stuck in this alternate dimension all the time. You will be able to explore this city that you've been dragged out of, and you'll also do little side quests here and there. Honestly, Dusk Diver is an unsung hero in the action JRPG genre, and I really think that this is an action JRPG that you should play on your Nintendo Switch. Now next up is a fantastic JRPG. Yes, it's Star Ocean Second Story R, the remake of the PS1 JRPG classic. Now this has a dual protagonist story where you will pick to either play as Claude or Reina. And you'll be exploring the world of Expel whilst trying to find out the origins of the sorcery globe. Now this action JRPG is fast paced. Yes, there is menu selection in this when you want to select various magic, but honestly it is so much fun, especially with the amount of different characters that you can recruit into your party with different abilities and attacks. Plus, Star Ocean Second Story R is a utterly gorgeous game. I mean, just look at it. It is breathtaking. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about Second Story R, well, there is a review on the channel, so check that out. Crosscode, the indie action JRPG which everyone should definitely play, especially on the Nintendo Switch. Now in this fast-paced action RPG, we follow our protagonist Leah, who is a player in the fictional MMO world of Crossworlds. Now Crossworlds is an actual planet where we have avatars running around in a video game come to life. Now our protagonist has the trope of amnesia and she is unable to talk. So it's up to her and her new friends to find out the mysteries of why this is happening. Now our protagonist throws severe bullets around the place to attack her enemies, and you can do close-up combat as well. Now this is fantastic and fast-paced, and you will just fall in love with this combat straight away. Fate Samurai Remake, the latest release in the Fate series from Koei Tecmo. Now in this action JRPG, we follow our protagonist Miyamoto Lori, who has been dragged into the Wax Moon ritual. He and his servant who's been bestowed upon him, Saber, will take on other masters and servants to the death to win this ritual. Now our character is able to switch between different stances, so he'll use dual katanas, he'll use a singular katana, and you'll also notice with the combat that it's got similarities to Musou style games, and this is because this was developed by the teams behind the likes of Dynasty Warriors. Now the combat in this game is really satisfying to play. Now if you do want to know a bit more about this game, there is a first impressions about this game on the channel. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, one of the fan favourite titles in the Tales of series. Now in this classic Tales of game, we follow our protagonists Yuri Law and Estelle, who have established the brave Vesperia group who go across the globe. Now, like similar Tales of games, it has the signature linear motion battle system. Now the best way to describe this linear motion battle system is imagine you're on a 2D field similar to the likes of a game like Tekken, for example. But with this, you're able to move your characters around this 2D field and you're able to select your attacks. This is essentially what the linear motion battle system is. Well, in my head anyway. There's a reason why Tales of Vesperia is a fan favourite, and if you want to find this out, well, you'll have to pick it up on Nintendo Switch. Shining Resonance Refrain, the action JRPG from Sega. Now originally this was a Japanese-only PlayStation 3 title released back in 2014, however we got the Refrain edition which has new story beats in this game, which was released in 2018 on the Switch, PC, PlayStation 4 and on the Xbox. Now in this JRPG, we follow our protagonist Yuma, who is fighting against the Empire. Now Yuma also has the ability to turn himself into a dragon. Wouldn't you know it? Now whilst you're in combat, yes, Yuma can turn into a dragon, but you've got to keep an eye on his stats because he could go berserk and you could lose control of him. Now I feel that not a lot of people bring up this title, so I thought, you know what, let's change this and include this on this list. If you have played this game though, what were your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments down below. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, the what if scenario in the Fire Emblem Three Houses universe. So yes, this is an alternative take on the Three Houses story, where instead of our protagonist Blythe being the hero, they are the enemy. Now as you'll see by the title, yes, this is a Warriors style game, the Musou Combat, but this is a fantastic JRPG overall, and it features the world of Three Houses. Now if you know me, I love Fire Emblem Three Houses, and this is a fantastic JRPG overall. So as it says, with it being a warrior style game, well, the combat's pretty self-explanatory, is it? But what's good here is that you'll be able to play as your favourite Three Houses characters in a different combat style. So instead of your turn-based combat, wouldn't you like to play it as the axe-wielding Edelgard in full form in action-based style combat? I know I certainly do. Nintendo really have nailed the Warriors style format when it comes to sequels, etc. because we've seen the likes of Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors, we've seen, although it's not really Nintendo, but we've seen Persona 5 Scramble as well. These style of action JRPGs are always welcome in my eyes. Also, the music in this game is banging. Harvestella, one of my favourite action JRPGs of last year, and I can already hear friend of the channel Eric Ladd going, oh my god, it's Harvestella again. Now we follow our protagonist, a traveller who has the JRPG trope of amnesia, who is whisked into an adventure to find out more about her past and also get wrapped up in what truly is an epic sci-fi adventure. Yes, you heard me, a sci-fi adventure, because this is honestly one of the best that I have played in a very long time. Now, I've said this plenty of times before that Harvestella was marketed completely wrong. This is an action JRPG through and through with light farming simulation. And you'll have fun traversing this world with a lovable cast of characters. Now this combat has job systems related to it. So for example, our protagonist could be using an attacker style job. So they could be fighting away with their sword-like weapon. Then you might need to be using magic spells, so you could change to a mage class style job. There are so many ways that you can play this game and choose the best loadout for you. Honestly, I cannot stress that Harvestella is a JRPG that you really need to play. NieR Automata, the miracle port which finally came to Nintendo Switch. Now, this is one of my all-time favourite JRPGs, and it's this for a reason. Everything about this is the full package, from the story, to the characters, to the setting, to the music, and most importantly, the combat system, because with this being a Platinum game, it has the signature Platinum combat, which cannot be matched by most action JRPGs. It is slick and fast-paced, and you will feel every attack that you do to the robot enemies. You have different weapons to hand, so you could choose between a short sword, a long sword. You could fist fight your way through the robots. There is different styles here. Plus, with the different characters that you can play as, likes of 2B, 9S and A2, there is differences within the combat as well. I cannot stress enough that NieR Automata is a game that you should play, whether it's on Nintendo Switch or any other platform. It is essential gaming at its finest. Now, before we get on to the final entry, here are some honourable mentions. Now, usually with honourable mentions, these would be games that just missed the mark, but on this occasion, it's JRPGs which have been recommended by other content creators that are realistically on my radar that I need to play. Let's have a look. Silent Hope. Now, this JRPG is being touted not to be slept on because it's an action JRPG with lots to give. Now, there's various characters that you'll be able to play as in this game with various fighting styles as well, which you'll use to save their silent world. Now, from my understanding as well, you'll want to take part in battles quite a fair bit because you'll want to farm various materials to help with crafting with this game. But if you have played Silent Hope, well, let me know in the comments whether this should be an action JRPG that we should all be playing. Sakuna Rise of Ruin. Now, this one's been on my wish list for a while now. This is a 2D side-scrolling action JRPG where you'll also be attending your farmland and growing rice on your paddy fields. This one looks fantastic and it's had rave reviews as well. I really cannot wait to get my hands on this action JRPG. But like Silent Hope, well, if you've played this, let me know if I should add this to the collection and if everyone else should play this action JRPG. Ys Origins. Now, unlike the previous two entries that I've just spoken about, I do actually own this one, but on the PS Vita and not on the Nintendo Switch. However, from what I have played of this game, it is utterly fantastic. It is a prequel to the adventures of Adol Christian's adventures. We'll play as a different set of protagonists with various combat styles. It is a fantastic action-based JRPG, which you definitely need to play. But should I pick this up on Nintendo Switch? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, with that all said and done, let's look at the final entry on this list. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, the prequel to the Final Fantasy VII. Now, in this JRPG, we will be following soldier operative Zack Fair. Now, with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth just round the corner, this is the perfect opportunity to find out more about Zack Fair. Now, this is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII. You will find out the origins of Zack Fair, who he is, and how he impacts Cloud Strife and the full-on story of Final Fantasy VII. Now, this game is the true remaster of Crisis Core, which came out on the PSP, and it updated everything in droves. The graphical style is amazing and is one of the best looking Nintendo Switch games on the platform. The combat style has had alterations as well, so it is more action based than its counterpart on the PSP. It has a lot of aspects taken from Final Fantasy VII Remake. The soundtrack as well has had love added to it and has been remastered as well, but the story is completely intact. This is the definitive way to play Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, and having it on the go on the Nintendo Switch, which runs absolutely stunningly on the system, it's a no-brainer. So there we have it, 10 Nintendo Switch action JRPGs that you should play. Now, have I missed out any JRPGs which should be on the list? Well, you know what to do. Leave a comment down below. Now, if you like what you're hearing and seeing on the channel, please help me grow it by liking, sharing and subscribing. And if you want to be kept up to date with everything Chicken Fillets, well, hit that notification bell. This has been John, aka Chicken Fillets, and until next time, tatty bye!